Hiya, and welcome to Sovalwaris, which is the Elven Purification. And we are going to be spending some time with Nienna today. And I just wanted to say hi to everybody who could make it. This is awesome. I will say you by name. How about that? We have On God Car with us as usual. Greetings. We have Marianne having her first live stream. I'm really happy that you're here. That's awesome. Mariel McKenzie, yes. And we also have Taria. And I'm expecting a couple more people. And I wanted to tell you that Dekindre is supposed to join us on the live stream today. So we're kind of waiting for him, but I thought that I would, say hi and, be on time for a change. So I wanted to also apologize for last week. Peachy Fruit, yay! I'm going to say hi to Peachy Fruit. Okay. We have the Isil Nenime that happened a little while ago, and it was during Mercury retrograde when it was first starting to go retrograde, and after the full moon, and during the full moon, I knew that it was going to be astrologically wonky for tech, and that certainly happened, although not on the StreamYard side. I had no idea that it was getting weird. I had to watch the replay in order for that to happen. Hi, Dekindre.
Hello.
How's it going? So Dekindre is going to join us today for the live stream. I think that this is his first ritual that he's coming to, and it happens to be.
I think so.
Is that the case?
I believe it is, yes.
Is it? Okay, cool. So Dekindre is going to be with us on the live stream. And for members or teachers, I want to outstretch, if you will, put it out there, an opportunity if you want to also be on the live stream for ritual. Let me know in some fashion, whether it's from Patreon, whether it's Messenger on Facebook, whether it's Instagram, whether you email me elvenspirituality@gmail.com. Whatever you want to do, and maybe you can meal dough. Awesome. Cool. I think that this might be Meal Dough's first live also, like where he's actually in the ritual with us, right? I think so. He may have attended a couple of other live streams before, but this is my first time recollecting that his presence is live. So, okay, so we're gonna get started here. I will add to the stream the meditation, which I'm going to show you what it looks like. So isn't that cool? So I found one for gentle rain. I thought that was the best one that we could use for Nienna's tears. It would be like the earth is crying. You know what I mean? So we're going to use that today. And oops, I got to reboot my Kindle here. Got my Kindle. Swipe to unlock. Okay, so we're getting ready to go here. So without ado, we will begin the ritual. And you guys can still stay in the chat. And if you want, you can, after the meditation, you can share what Nienna has brought forth for you, and I'll hang around. I hope that Dekindre can hang around too, but I know that he's very busy moving households and all kinds of other things. And as for me, I'm going to be like only in the West Coast for another like week or so, and then I'm heading for the mountain states. I'll be in Missoula, Montana, and I have a great opportunity there that I want to take part of. So that's why I'm kind of like not really scheduled with, because I'm not in my house anymore. So that makes sense. So I am very grateful for friends and family that I can, kind of bounce around with for the last few months, really. And my permanent like exit from the house was in December. So just so that you guys know. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get started with Linde Ellenlote, the Song of the Starflower. So we'll get that started. And then I've got my timer here for when we do the meditation. And let me make sure that I have my ringer off. Okay. Okay, I'm making sure that in the last minute with Messenger, anybody having problems or anything coming. So nope, it looks like everybody that can be here is here. Wonderful. Okay, got the timer when I'm ready. Okay. So we're going to start out with, okay, we can get our feet flat on the floor, our hands like open, like, maybe just, but not crossed. Like we want to be uncrossed. So, because we're trying to bring energy into the circle. So we want to first intone Eru in order to set the tone. Dekindre, you can intone if you want to also. So I just wanted to tell you. It's up to you. You can just sit there. I can do this, right? So Eru is Eru Iluvatar, the all that is. This is a public video, so I just thought I would tell everybody what Eru is. Eru Iluvatar is the all that is, the source energy, and Iluvatar is what the elves affectionately call him. It's like his nickname, and it means all father. And it has to do with, the top of the, if you will, with the elven cosmology, it would be the very thing that everything comes from, okay? And then the creation itself of Earth and Arda and the universe, as we know it, is called Ea, which is the creation. So we will intone Eru, and if you guys want, you can put your hands in Namaste. You can put it in the Fear Not Mudra, however you would like. We'll intone Eru. Okay, and now we want to, this is a septigram. Our new book will have the Septiquitra, but this is kind of a form that we're going to be drawing in front of us. So at the 4 o'clock position, okay, and you can just trace it with your finger, okay, and this is my 4 o'clock. So whatever your 4 o'clock position is, we intone Elenia, which means star day. Elenia. Trace your finger over to the 8 o'clock position. We'll intone Anaria, which is the Sunday. Anaria. And then you want to trace up to the 2 o'clock position for Isilia, which is the moon day. Isilia. And then you want to go down to the 7 o'clock position for Alduya, which is the trees day, which is resonant of the 2 trees, Telperion and Laurelin. Alduya. And then we want to come up to the noon position at the top. This is Manelia for Heaven's Day. Menelia. We go down to the 5 o'clock position, which is Earenia, which is the sea day or the mariner's day. And this was added to the Elven week, which is usually 6 days long, to make it 7 days long by the Numenorians. We go up to the 10 o'clock position for Valanya, which is High Day or the Day of the Valar. And I know that it's misprinted on here. It's Valaria. That's a typo. It is Valanya. Valanya. Now we close it and come back to the 4 o'clock position, and we intone Arda, which is the earth. Arda. And you can put your hand in fear not mudra, or you can put it in prayer position, namaste. Either way, you intone Aya, and we can do it 3 times, okay? And I usually go up on the last one, and that's just me. That's my style. Aya, Aya, Aya. Okay, now we want to call in the directions and the Valar. And this is the first direction. This is the Tengwar that represents east. It's called Roman. So if you are on a phone or however, if you want to face east and change the directions, it helps. But you don't have to. So you can do it if you're just in front of your screen. So we trace the Tengwar in front of us. And we hold our hand in fear not mudra, and we intone Roman, which means east. Roman. We now call on Manwe Sulimo, the High King of Arda, of the Eagles and the Winds, and his lady Varda Elentari, the Queen of the Stars, protector of Arda and all of Iluvatar's children. We welcome you into our circle, Aya. And Aya is welcome. Now we want to, if you can, you face south. And then here is the Tengwar for south. Looks kind of like a V upside down with a tail. We'll intone Hjarmen, which means south. Hjarmen. We now call on Tolkas, the youngest, bare-handed, ruddy warrior Vala, and Nessa, the sister of Orome, and the friend of the deer. It is she who dances on the new green grass. We welcome you into our circle, Aya. And now we want to do this funny little B with an underline. This is Formen, which means north, and it's the Tengwar for that. So we do trace that in front of us, hold our hand in fear not mudra. Formen. We now call on Iule the smith, who dwells in the ground, and the Vala of the mining and crafting of metals and gemstones. He who created the dwarves as a gift to Iluvatar. And our motherly Yavanna Kementari, the queenly valley of Arda's maturing green vegetation of harvest and of the life that nourishes all of us. We welcome you into our circle, Aya. Now we want to put this Tengwar, it looks like an N with a little curl on it, on our heart chakra, okay? And the Tengwar itself is called Ore, which means the heart or the inner mind. But we will intone me, am I, which means within. So we want to, you can, instead of putting your hand like this, hold it on your heart. Me. We now call upon the hunter Vala Orome, the Lord of the forests. He who loves the elves and wanders all of Arda on horseback with his horn. And Vana, the ever young and vital, she who aligns with the flowers and the new plant growth. We welcome you into our circle. Aya. And next we want to focus above us or upward. This is the Tengwar for Velia, the sky, but we will intone or, which means above. So we can draw the symbol here above us. And if you want, you can put your hand upwards too, but you can also just set it forward if that's too uncomfortable in Fear Not Mudra. Or we now call on Lorien, also known as Irmo, the Vala of the high light gardens, who nurtures our goals, visions, and our dreams. And Este, the gentle, the Valier of rest, sleep, and healing. We welcome you into our circle. Aya. And next we want to focus below us in a downward position, and the Tengwar is for Arda, which is the earth. But we will intone Undo, which means below. So we can draw the Tengwar, okay, with an extra tail. It looks like Roman with an extra tail. And then you can put your hand down like this. Undo. We now call on those of Valar who walk alone. Ulmo, the brother of Manwe, the powerful and protective Vala of all of the musical waters of Arda, and Nienna, the Valier of our transformation and our rebirth. It is she who with her tears intensely cleanses and restores all forms of fear, pain, and hurt that have come before. We welcome you into our circle. Aya. The final direction would be west. This is Newman, and it looks like an M. So we trace that. If you can face west, great, but go ahead and do the M, and then hold your hand in the Fear Not Mudra. Newman. We now call on Namo in the halls of Mondos, the Vala of balance and fair judgment of all of our respective paths of death, and Vaire, the weaver of the ever-changing black and white threads of time, the past, the present, and the future. We welcome you into our circle. Aya. And while everybody is facing west, if that's possible, or your computer, we want to either, so you have a choice here. You can draw a flame in front of you. You can draw it like a candle flame. You can hold your hands like this and then visualize a flame in front of you. We are tuning into the flame imperishable. And we intone Iluve, the all, the everywhere. So I'm going to use my two hands. Iluve. Now we want to put our hands in the prayer position, Namaste. We acknowledge that we are one with Iluvatar, as well as the spirit of Christ consciousness for Christians who are present and listening to this ritual. We feel that the flame imperishable within us, in our circle of celebration on this day, Laita, which means blessings. Let us tonight celebrate, or today, celebrate Sovalwaris, the Elven Day of Purification. This is also the ending of Hrive, which is the Elven winter. And today marks the beginning of Korire, the stirring season of the elves. We are excited for Arian and Anar the sun to cycle back toward us soon, beginning the new Loa or Elven year coming up. And through this cycle of purification, we will be ready. In Tia Eldelieva, Sovalwaris aligns with Nienna, also known as Fui Nienna, the Virgin Valier, who releases and cleanses away all that has died, be it our bodies or be it experiences that no longer are needed. She heals with her tears of mourning, and she has done with our home, Arda, the earth, since it was so deeply marred by the Dark One. Nienna also teaches pity and compassion, and this is reflected in the Legendarium, when it's said to have taught the great Olorin, or Gandalf, these honorable traits. As she is also amongst the Feanturi, which is the spiritual siblings, Nienna represents, along with her brothers, the care of the souls of Iluvatar's children. Irmo, or Lorien, performs this task through our dreams and visions. Namo, or Mondos, performs this task upon death through fair judgment. And Nienna performs her task as a rebirthing, purification, and transformation, and her tool is her tears. Through her tears, she restores what has been marred or destroyed in its original pristine state. She teaches us to see the pain deep within those that would cause such marring in the first place. And the compassion that we learn is that their pain is even greater than our own. And through forgiveness of them, and through forgiveness of ourselves and allowing ourselves to feel the pain and the release, to release this pain, through our own tears to be taken away, we too purify our souls. Nienna, we ask that you allow us to learn pity and exercise compassion towards ourselves, toward others, and toward Arda, our home. Let our tears be a catharsis that allows the complete renewal of our most pure state, Laita. So now we want to prepare for meditation, and I've got my clock here. We drink water, okay? And if you want, you can also visualize a star flower. So I'm going to find it on here so that you guys know what this looks like. And it's a black and white copy, but you'll get an idea of the shape of the star flower. Okay, it's right here. Okay, so we can infuse that in the water. We can infuse it around us. If you have another white flower that you like to visualize, you can also use that. And we're going to add to the stream our meditation. We'll get started here in a moment. Setting up the timer. think 15 minutes will do it today. So we'll go ahead and begin. Here we go. Okay. It's counting down. We want to get really comfortable with our feet flat on the floor and uncross our hands. We face them up or down, whatever's comfortable. We close our eyes and we notice that we are standing on Koro Larire, the green mound of the two trees. We see the beautiful silvery moonlight of the white tree Telperion filling the left side of our body, while we see our left side glowing silver. We see this light in our very blood. We especially circulate this silver light in our ajna, or our third eye chakra, as well as our sacral orange chakra, which is about 3 inches below our belly button. We can see other colors right now. That is fine. We just allow. We now fill the right side of our body with gorgeous golden sunlight of golden tree Laurelin, while seeing our right side glowing golden and the golden lights in our very blood. Hi, Adam. We may see others along with the golden light. That is fine. We just allow. We'll circulate the golden light in our very blood and into our crown chakra at the top of our head, and also in our solar plexus, which is just below the joining of our rib cage. And now we want to feel our roots through our feet, pushing deeper and deeper into Arda, joining the center of the earth. We allow Arda to nurture us and nourish. We feel very grounded and very connected to Arda. And in fact, we could even say we are Arda. You may see more colors right now. That is fine. As you have extended your roots into the deepest places of Arda, we now extend our arms, hands, fingers, even our hair. We can imagine that is getting all of the sky energy, which would be the light of the stars, sun, and the moon. We bring this light down into us as we also bring up the earth energy, the Arda energy through our body. So we have both of these energies running through, along with the golden and silver light. As much as we can expand our branches, that's how much we want to extend our roots into Arda. We're doing as above, so below. Now, the trees in the stories have a symbiotic relationship. So they fluctuate, and we want to also see the emphasis of the silver light and then fluctuate back to the golden light, and back and forth. And this is what happens in nature and in balance. We want to be in nature and in balance. The seasons flow, and at this point, we feel very connected to Ea and to Iluvatar. And you may also connect with any of the Valar or Maiar or Elven guides at this point. And you may also start getting some of your own visions now or messages of some sort. You may even more fully be reawakening your Elven DNA and or your ancestral memory. Allow these to take their respective courses as we continue with this meditation. And now we want to place our attention to the west of west and travel to the realm of Fui Nienna, the Virgin Valier, who mourns and cleanses away with her tears all that has come before and restores us and everything to its original design, the design of Eru Iluvatar, as we truly experience the meaning of Sovalwaris within ourselves. First, as for her student Olorin or Gandalf, she teaches us to have pity and compassion by taking us to the marred places in Arda, the earth. And she is able to demonstrate to us that as painful as this is to Arda, to empathize and imagine the pain that would make anyone do such horrendous things in the first place. And we can now feel that very deep pain within the Dark One that drives him to these heinous thoughts and deeds. And as long as he is in pain, as long as he will not learn love, as long as he will not forgive others or himself, he will continue to be in pain. And this inflicted pain on himself, unfortunately, goes to others and perpetuates into the world even to this day. It is so much better that we learn from our own experiences of pain and fear inflicted by others, and that we are able to forgive, and most importantly, able to release. And this process happens with our tears. We now take this emotional knowledge, apply it to our own lives, those that hurt us so very deeply. And we realize how much pain that they have endured to even do such deeds to us. And we can also see when in our own ignorance that we have inadvertently inflicted pain onto others. And now we can apply this pity and our compassion at a personal level for our own growth and thus begin our own forgiveness, releasing, and in fact, our own rebirth and our own transformation. We are born again anew. We are restored to original form that Eru Iluvatar imagined all that time ago. Now Nienna shows us how to use our tears for our own catharsis, to truly forgive and release. And these burdens are then received by her to reintegrate through her tears what has been marred or destroyed within us to our original pristine state. And through this initially painful time, we can then experience a most amazing joy through purifying our own souls. Thank you, Nienna, for showing us how to heal, how to forgive, how to lighten our load through aligning with our original blueprint of light intended by Eru Iluvatar. Let this pain transform into source material and regenerate in light. I will restart the timer. And now our meditation can come to a close. We want to thank the Valar, and especially Nienna, as well as our Elven and Maiar guides for their assistance. And we slowly come back to the physical world and we remember what transpired. We bid Nienna and the West of West realms and all others farewell, and we turn our attention back to Koro Larire, the green mound of the two trees, and we bring our consciousness into the trees themselves. We now draw in our branches, and as we do so, we begin to unroot from Arda, but we realize we always have this connection. We slow down the golden energy, and now we slow down the silver energy until each of these energies becomes small and portable. With the combined lights together, they become the Silmarils, the jewels, that we can keep a little piece of these lights in our pocket, and we can access their healing energy anytime we want. And now we want to take a deep breath. And if you're still a little lightheaded, you can put a little bit of salt on the tip of your tongue. You can drink something, you can eat something. Our work is done. We acknowledge the existence of Eru Iluvatar, the all that is, and the flame imperishable while we are in circle. And for Christians who are present, we want to thank the Christ Spirit for being with us in the circle. And may we see all of you in your presence outside this circle, Laita. Thank you to all of the Valar, and in particular to Nienna, for being with us in circle to carry out in spirit our work done here today. We hereby open ourselves to you, even outside of this circle, Laita. We acknowledge and are grateful to the elements and to the directions and to the silver and the golden light for creating our blessed space in which we may do our spiritual work on this sacred day, Laita. And now we want to push down all of the golden energy and the silver energy that we generated earlier into Arda. Arda, here is a gift of energy of pure intent of love, light, and healing that comes from the very deepest places of our hearts. And may it heal you and all of your inhabitants and bring all things to natural balance. The circle is now open. Laita. And if you are still lightheaded, go get some food or drink and salt, whatever you have. So feel free to type into the chat any kinds of visions or messages, that type of thing that Nienna may have given you, maybe some progress of your healing. I did want to tell you that during my meditation, I got a very clear message that we're clearing away from the earth's energy like a collective blanket of anger. There's a lot of anger. I kept seeing red and then black, like some of the black color was like crystallized anger that just had been seething and sitting and growing in bitterness. Very, very resonant of the dark one, wouldn't you say? So we're having a big clearing of this right now. And I really feel that this was a deep push towards the ascension of humans into the restoring of what we are supposed to be. The original vision of what this is. And we are very close, I feel like. And I know that many others out there who align in love in different ways, they are doing the same work that we are, but we have a different role because we feel elven in some fashion, whether it's through soul, whether it's through DNA, whether it's just a feeling that you have, whether it's like something that's just inside of you that says, yes, this feels right. And the elves in the stories are the stewards of Arda. Okay, they care about Arda. We talked about this earlier, where the fairies in the Lost Tales, they are older than Arda. They are older than Ea, the creation, and so they regard this as a playground. And they're natural, and they definitely have nature and balance in their makeup, but they don't have the deep caring that the elves would have. And the elves were immortal in the stories, and they are all now either in Aman, which is Valinor, the Blessed Realm, which is where all of the Valar reside, or they are absorbed into the trees. If they didn't want to leave Middle Earth, they're absorbed into the fauna and flora. Actually, probably more the flora than the fauna. Yavanna's territory. So I would even say that some may be in the sea, if that's what because they long for the sea. That's also in the stories. So there may be even some of the spirits that went into the sea. And they were waiting for a time for, and I think it's close, us coming out of this really large cycle of pain and suffering and hurt. And it's time to access the healing and the loving energy. And Nienna is the perfect way to do that. And today is a great day to have that experience and bring humanity to that much closer of ascension. I haven't seen anything typed in the chat yet, but maybe some of you are still typing, or some of you may be still in vision, and that's okay. Dakindre, did you have anything that you wanted to share?
For myself in meditation, much was shown. Some of it my own personal places I have to deal with. Others of it involved the new house that, as you mentioned earlier, with the moving that I'm getting ready to do, the new house, and finally having a place that's not bouncing around and, in a sense, anchoring. And then part of it also has to deal with another project that I'm working on. So it was very, it was.
So yours was a lot more personal than collective?
A lot, yeah.
Yeah. Mine was definitely collective today. It was definitely collective. She didn't really show me anything about my personal stuff today. It was much more about the state of the world, and how we're clearing so much anger right now. And I believe that much of the anger is basically misinformation on all sides, and all we can do is just really put that aside and navigate love in our hearts. And that's all we can do right now. And the more that we can be in a joyful state, the more that we can ascend, and just put aside the arguments. Who cares what's right and wrong? There's got to be a place where love will heal all. And I understand truth, and I totally get it, but we will all see the truth when it comes. We will all do it. It's not our job to force truth on others. That is for their own benefit. Okay, we have some things coming in here. Okay. On God Carr says, "Oh my goodness, I cried, as I usually do during our rituals and meditation. And however, this time it seemed appropriate. An opening. Acceptance and cleansing was felt within me. It is grace. Thank you, Nienna." And Marianne says, "My insight was a sense of compassion for someone with whom I had had a difficult relationship. I asked Nienna to help me release this person, forgive, and also release myself." That is beautiful, Marianne. That's what Angod Card said. Peachy Fruit says, "The vision was rather quiet, with only gentle whispers of Nienna, from Nienna. I walked through the fields and I saw trees and lands broken and destroyed by war, greed, and hatred. The strongest messages that I received while taking in the nature around me was her telling me peace can only be achieved through understanding and healing from those first steps. And it was such a mature message that I was not expecting. I felt cleansed and enlightened by that. Thank you, Nienna. Yes, Nienna is very powerful. For Christians that are present here, she has a very Mother Mary kind of energy. For neo-pagans or other people that have other alignments, there is a Kuan Yin quality also to Nienna. Nienna is one of the favorites that I have, and for all of you who are present or even catching this on the replay, feel free to take a bath or a shower. A bath is especially excellent, and especially if you can put salt, either sea salt, baking soda, and or Epsom salts into your bath water. And you can also, like if you feel like it, put essential oils. You can even put a little bit of vinegar, any kind of vinegar, because the vinegar will help cut away that psychic kind of sludge that you're letting go of. So the physical stuff is handled by the salt, but the psychic energies, the vinegar is really good for clearing that. So if you guys can do that, like even if it's not right now, if you can do it later, you know, or, you know, on the weekend or something, it is so deep and cleansing, and it will really help realign us with the intention of Nienna, which is to be free from all of this heavy residue. It's a wonderful thing. Mieldo says, confession, I need to be with my 2 parrots at this time of the day. Sometimes they, flew around me and it was difficult to focus. Okay, we can certainly understand that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm typing. Thank you all for your visions. They were very important, and some of us had more personal, some of us have more collective. So, and Anga Carr says, I'm glad you said something about Nienna's energy being, well, somewhat aligned. I don't think that they're identical, but aligned with Kuan Yin. I had been feeling that for a while, but I wasn't sure that I was perceiving it correctly. Yes, she has aspects of herself that are very similar to Kuan Yin. Definitely. They're not identical, though. I mean, I don't think that any well, I mean, other than maybe the Roman and Greek pantheons, because they're the same and they just have different names. I think that all pantheons have an integrity of their own, and the Valar and Tolkien's work is no exception to that. I think that Varda Elentari, the Star Queen, is not identical to a Star Queen of the fairy tradition or, you know, of any other tradition. I really feel that Varda has her own, you know, sovereign integrity about her. I believe that also about Nienna, but she definitely has very similar qualities to Kuan Yin. Okay, and also for, you know, Christians who are visiting that may have worked with Mother Mary, there is a definite Mother Mary energy also. Any energy that has to do with like allowing to forgive and release, I think would be very resonant of Nienna. But Nienna is very powerful because she has the rebirthing aspect also, because she is part of the Feanturi, which we talked about a little bit, I believe, in the Ainulindale. We may be talking about that in the Valaquenta class for the teachers, the patrons who are teacher level at the $10 a month level. We're going to be discussing a little bit more deeply about what the Feanturi is about in class. So, and on the note of classes, we're going to be starting up the Valaquenta classes in February. We are also going to be, after that, doing the Quenta Silmarillion. And we are going to be starting an Elvish program. We actually have somebody who is a language, person who has been studying the language a lot. So they don't call themselves experts, but they're certainly willing and able to teach us some beginning Elvish type of things. And we're really excited for that program too. We'll probably run it simultaneously for, we're going to do the first few Elvish lessons probably for the public. Okay, and then it'll be the members. So the $5 or $10 level will have the Elvish happening for. We are also having some other classes that we want to bring forth, like either on magic techniques or, some of my, like I've actually had a couple of you ask me about, like, what do I do when I'm not on YouTube or on the camera or, doing this stuff. And I will tell you that I have routines that I do personally. And not only do I have routines that are on my spiritual side, but I also have a physical expression of some of these types of things. And I'll talk to you guys about that one of these days. We are going to be doing some videos for the public too, to educate them on the Elven star that we have proposed, the Septiquitra, the new Elven star, the alternative Elven star, the ones who align with more Tolkien than Elven culture as a general thing. And we are very excited about what's rolling out. On the business side, we are putting together our books. We've gotten some information from the state entities here, meaning the Secretary of State and the Attorney General. And so we're filing appropriate documents with our state as well as with the IRS, and changing some personnel and addresses, things like that. And when we do this, we are also fixing our bank account. We're still waiting for the bank to say, yes, we have received your documents, etc. Once that happens, we can open up the Amazon Smile account so that all of you who are shopping on Amazon can shop on Smile, like smile.amazon.com. Choose our organization for Amazon to donate to, not you, Amazon. They actually donate to us. You don't spend a penny. Okay, so we get money, you get to keep your money. It's a pretty good deal. And we are also in the process of uploading our new art to the Redbubble store. We had our artist is doing it for us because she has to set the art on each individual piece. And that's something I'm not really good at. So we are having her do it. And that is completely fine. Let me get to the messages here. We have On God Carr says, I saw a teardrop fall and land into the shape of a watery butterfly. That makes sense with Nienna also being about transformation. Wow, that's a beautiful vision. And yes, it's very transformative. Marianne says, as I am blind, could you describe the new symbol? Thank you. Yes, I will. On God Carr says, oh, that is cool. Excited about the Amazon Smile. We are too. We're very excited about that. Peachy Fruit says, oh, that's wonderful. Okay, Marianne, the shape of the Septiquitra is similar to how the curves in the lines. So we have straight lines that make a 7-pointed star. The Septiquitra has curved lines, kind of like Vesica Pisces shaped, okay, that make the shape all the way around, that is more of a curved line shape. If you Google Septiquitra and then like maybe blow up some of the images that you find, you may find it. And if you still can't see it or can't imagine it, it's okay, but it has more of a flower look to it. it's a more natural, feminine, receptive energy to it than the straight line ones. That one's very masculine in energy. Not a bad thing. I have on my pendant always, like, of the straight line one, but that's because I can't find one for the Septiquitras. And interestingly, I have been shopping for a custom jewelry creator to make a Septiquitra either plain, so that we could just have them. They can make all the money, or for our seal. And I am running into a dead end. I have messaged about 20 people that I feel vibrate with our path. Okay, but they're all either swamped with custom orders, or they're not doing custom orders. They're just doing their own thing. I actually had an idea during this Mercury retrograde, Ellen Mire retrograde, that maybe one of us, like, and I'm talking about in the Elven path, maybe one of us needs to actually learn metal smithing and metal crafting, okay, and make them ourselves. I'm kind of tired of waiting for the right person. And I'm actually thinking about possibly doing that once I relocate to Montana, because it'll be a good skill to have. And yeah, then we can make our own Septiquitras. So what do you guys think about that? I'm kind of curious. So that's my news for, like, everything. Dekindre and I are, like, working on getting the books all straightened up. And then, speaking of books, Dekindre, do you want to share anything about our physical form of our library? And I'll share about the digital form that Dave is working on after. But I thought that, like, with your new homecoming and all of the things, that you may want to share about our physical library.
So with the purchase of the new home, which I had to step away because I got the call from my realtor that we fully closed, that it recorded with the court, so it's totally done. But with the new house that we purchased, I am going to have a room, like a whole, almost like 12 by 12 room, that is entirely dedicated to magic. It's going to be separate from the rest of the house.
Awesome.
And it's going to be where, after about 3 years in boxes or longer, I'm finally going to be able to put all of my books and get the library fully up and available.
That is so exciting. I have I had some of my books out, but then I boxed them up. My books have been in boxes for about 6 years, so I understand.
And at the moment, I'm working on a final list and figuring out what in the long run I would like to be able to offer our members is something where, and Calanterniel and I are still working it, so are Dave, trying to figure out how to give an option to the members, but not have me get burned in the process.
Yes.
I would like to set up something where I put a list of what books I have. If someone goes, "Oh, hey, I've really wanted to read that book, but I didn't want to buy it or something," I can loan the book to members.
And yeah, if we have duplicate copies, we can do that.
Right.
Because sometimes I may have many of the books that you already have, Dekindre, and I would just send them to you so that they're in one place, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, and that way, as long as it's not, like, I have some books that would be considered my restricted, where they aren't going to leave my house. If local people wanted to see them, I would, they could come visit.
Oh, sure.
But
and by the way, hey, there's an excuse to go to the big island of Hawaii. Maybe we should have our first Elven Con near Dekindre's house.
But yeah, so I'm looking to be able to not just hoard these books, so to speak, because right now I have probably somewhere in the realm of 300, 400 books. I lost count.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got about that many too. Many of mine are astrology books, FYI, and herbal books and homeopathy books, because I was studying homeopathy for a while. And but I have a lot of magic books too. They're probably not as good as yours though. They're not as good as yours. But they're great for, like, you know, and then if we have duplicates, you know, we can loan them that way. And then we can maybe even make a system where maybe it's just something that you want, like you're doing research on a particular topic and you need us to thumb through it and then source it out. So we could take a photo of like the part that you need, and then take a photo of the inside of the cover, like where all the you know, the copyright and all of that information is, with the ISBN number, for you to source your work if you are doing academic research or anything like that. So Dave is going to be making the digital version of our library, and I'm very excited about this, because then he has different places for different things, that he has found a way to do this for the members and for the teachers also. And I think that we're going to have some of the things not available. Like, we'll have some books that are available to the public. We'll have some books that are available to only members and teachers. And then we're going to probably have some that are only for teachers. Also, we are looking at a possible publishing plan as far as like physical books that we generate. So we'll talk to you guys about that when we have the plan more solidified. By the way, we have a lot of, oh, that's fantastic, oh, that's great, like all those kind of comments. On God Carr says that she thought about possibly making one of the pendants out of polymer clay, which I thought was an awesome idea. And maybe, on God, is there a way from polymer clay that a mold can be created? The reason I'm asking about that is because there are understandably ways of 3D printing pendants with silver, that we pour it into like a 3D printer and it print the silver into a mold, and then we undo the mold. I'm not sure how this works though. It might not even be like that. It might be a totally different way, but we wanted to look at 3D printing for our jewelry, instead of like having to hand make each piece.
I also just thought,
yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to reach out to one of my friends on Facebook that I just thought about, because she has, well, she's not like a friend, but it's more like a well-known person in the community type thing. She's in California, but I'm going to reach out to her because I know she has a laser printer, like one of the Glowforge laser printers, and she might be able to do the project. I don't know what she would charge for it.
Okay. Yeah, and I've been kind of shopping around for 3D printers, and that we just figure out how to make a mold. But now that we have the digital version of the art that Luthien did for us, that we could translate to a physical item.
Yeah.
You know, besides just having t-shirts that are printed and stuff. So, okay, let's go back over here. On God says, awesome that you have a room just for magic. Excellent. Fruit says, also wondering if there's anywhere that we as members can suggest community projects that we can work on to make our path. I ask because I am in the brainstorm stages for elven food ideas. That's really awesome. I know that, like, for myself, my diet is just ridiculous, like as far as the things that are restricted. Now, it's only because of certain foods being in everything. You know, that's why it's so restrictive. So I just have to do a lot of cooking by myself. It's just how it is. But I think that that's a really great idea, and that would be also like some really cool things to work on with, like ElvenCon or something, that when we do decide to have physical events after, you know, pandemics and stuff are over. On God Carr says a mold is possible, yes. Maybe even from resin after making one from clay, and love that brainstorming. Cool. And you know what? Maybe our first ones can be, you know, made from polymer until we get going. Like, let us know about that on God. And maybe like if you want to sell some to some of our people, that could be something that can start the motor, you know what I mean? And then one of your pieces might be a collector's item, because then we'll go to metal and then it won't be available anymore. And then it'll be like, I remember when. Oh, there's lots of possibilities with that. So is there anything else happening in the community? Okay, well, I'm going to get ready to end this because we're a little over time. I was hoping to have it within the hour, but okay, it's an hour and 20 minutes. That's all right. So, Aya and Laita, many blessings to all of you. And I wanted to, you know, just say that I hope that you have a wonderful Ko'ire season, the season of stirring. And for any of you listening in the Southern Hemisphere, you have the opposite happening. You've had a summer and you're starting to like diminish the light. So we are thinking about you also there in Australia and New Zealand. Okay. Thank you again for attending. You guys have a wonderful one. Bye-bye. Hanan Lei and Lai Ta. Thank you. Thank you.